today in this occasion organized by Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh on the topics of role and importance of public interest litigation to ensure rights of the citizen. I welcome all of you, especially the Honorable Chief Guest, the Honorable Speaker of the Bangladesh Jatiyo Sangsad, Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary. I also welcome Mr. M.C. Mehta. I also welcome Mr. Abdul Basit Majumdar. I also welcome Mr. A.H.M. Shamsuddin Chaudhary. I also welcome Abu Nasir Khan. I also welcome Mr. Mehta Kamal and Honorable Judges who is sitting in front of us, Mr. Additional Attorney General, senior lawyers, journalists, lawyer friends, ladies and gentlemen, all of you today join with us, which will also extend our hands and which will also give us an inspiration to work for the people by the organization. All of you know that in recent years, public interest litigation is grooming day by day, and the only cause is that our judges of the Supreme Court has extended their hands in this particular subject. Because when we come forward by filing an application to the court, if the court did not consider or do not consider this matter, then we will not get any order from the court, and it will be not possible for us to establish any rights of the citizen. We are very much grateful to the judges of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh that in the meantime, Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh has filed more than 200 public interest litigation. Most of the cases, the judges have extended their hands, and we are successfully established the rights of the citizen and protect the environment of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, from our organization, always we fight for the people, but different with the other organization, because we are not receiving any fund from any organization or any country abroad or from any people. Because we, the people who are engaging in this organization, they always devoted, they working for the organization only for the support of the people. This is a contributory organization. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that Bangladesh is a very poor country, and most of the people, they are not solvent. And even some of the people there, they cannot organize their food. This is the one question. And if, like Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh, other people should come forward to give their legal protection, because you know the lawyers is very much expensive. So if the poor people cannot come to the Supreme Court for their legal fees, then obviously their right cannot be established. So I humbly request you, all of you, to please give some time for the poor people to establish their rights. In other way, the environment of Bangladesh is going to very dangerous condition, because you know, lot of places, river, garden, field, and everything is going to grabbed by the land grabbers. And many cases we found that they are most powerful people, so that nobody can oppose it and nobody can take action against them. So I humbly request you, all of you, especially the lawyer, come forward to protect our environment, so that we can protect our river, we can protect our field, we can protect our canal, we can protect our garden. Otherwise, our life will be sent in a very dangerous situation. Because without environment, human being cannot survive. So it is also related to the rights of the citizen, because our constitution, last amendment in Article 18, there is also especially inserted the provision to protect the environment of the country. So it is our great scope to enforce and to come to the court considering the provisions of the constitution. I humbly request all of you, please, cooperation, give your cooperation and extend your hands to the activities of Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh, so that without any harming anybody, without any taking any fund from anyone, so that we can proceed on, we can fight against the corruption, we can fight against the environment, to protect the environment, we can fight and protect the rights of the poor people. And in future, I think all of you will cooperate with us. And I thank you, the journalists and the judges and lawyers who are present here from our organization. I also cordially very thanks giving to you that so that you came here and you attend here and you make success this seminar. And I also grateful to the honorable speaker and special guests and other guests so that they also came here to speak something for the cause of the people. And I am ending from this word, and I thank to all. And next time, I think the honorable speaker and other guests will deliver their valuable speeches, and you will hear this, and you will also cooperate the organization. Thank you very much.
Dr. Shri Chaudhary, Honorable Justice Shamuddin Chaudhary, Mr. Manzil Mashid, distinguished person sitting at the dais, and my friends. I may miss many things because there are many distinguished people sitting over here, honorable judges, parliamentarians. So I give my personal regard to them. And why I was invited, one day, he sent an email, Mr. Mushi, and we did not know each other. And then he said that he sent it, but I could not reply because I was too much touring and going out, and then my secretary told me that this is the email. So when it's a question of neighboring countries, then I choose to come, I choose to go to this because we are very close to each other and we have to share many things because our interests are very common. When I say that public interest litigation, and in that public interest litigation there is environment, and when we talk about environment, I say that whatever the storm blows in Bangladesh, in any form, it goes to Delhi also and to other parts of the country. Whatever happens in other part of India, that breeze goes everywhere. Whether it is Pakistan, whether it is Sri Lanka, whether that's the first thing happens. So when I talk about the environment, I say that environment has no boundaries. It has no language. We speak different languages, but environment has no language. When we talk about the suffering, the suffering out of, created out of the human being, those sufferings are across the continent to continent. All the continents. I have traveled all over the world and I have seen the people, those who are suffering, they are equally suffering because they have the same pain which we can feel wherever we are. When I talk about the situation on public interest litigation, this public interest litigation, Honorable Justice Shamuddin Chaudhary, he has spoken about it, and it's really good. It is a fresh air, which I can see that yes, the enthusiasm, which the Supreme Court of Bangladesh is showing, the 200 cases which have been filed in different courts. So it is amazing that one organization has done. The other organization, Dr. Shamus, Dr. Farooq, in 90s, he came to see me in Delhi, and at that time we discussed. He said, no, there is no locus standi in Bangladesh. And he said, he was a very young lawyer, and so he said, no, I want to do something. So he invited at that time, and I came over here. At that time, I don't remember, one minister for environment was at that time, so we shared platform together. And I still remember at that time, because there was a huge problem of this plastic waste. And he said that, I requested him, I said, please do that, stop it. And later on I came to know that Yes, there was some notification where this plastic waste was stopped. I don't know what is the fate today, but that day we shared the platform together. Some of the honorable judges from the Supreme Court were here. But so, why I am saying all this? Why this is happening? Because when we are talking about, as honorable judge, Justice Chaudhary has rightly said, that the riots, when the rights of the people are affected, then at that time what has to be done? Because it is an unequal fight. Public interest litigation, it is not a small thing. It is not that a silver spoon is being given. For fighting this litigation, you have to face dangers. And I know what dangers I have faced. The first case, when I filed in 1984, at that time, there was this 83, and that was the children, those who were languishing in Odisha jails. 194 children at that time, the Supreme Court intervened, and after that they were released. And so those, even at that time, I started receiving the censure that what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Even my police used to tell me, why are you wasting your time? You should not use, concentrate on your practice. And there are pressures from home, because you have to raise family, and then in the society, that what are you doing? He is just a mad person, doing something. So this is the attitude of the people. The second thing what happened, that in the Taj Mahal case, it was a very interesting thing that a person, how I change my whole life change. If a person walked in a social gathering and he said, lawyers are very busy. Lawyers, they don't have anything to do but except making money. So in that social gathering, I just looked at his face and I said that, who are you? He said, I have come from Bombay. And at that time his name was Bombay. So he said that I have gone to so many lawyers to say that I want to see that the Taj Mahal is safe, because Taj Mahal has got a marble cancer. And whenever I go, I feel very bad. Every year I visit the monument and it is becoming yellow. So this is what he said. I said, but what should I do? He said, no, all lawyers, they say there is no case at all. So I said that, yes, if you have anything, please send it to me. So he sent some papers, and that half a minute or a minute talk with that conversation with that person. After that, I have never met him. I don't know who was the person, and I started taking that case. And when the case was taken, that was the first case, mainly on the cultural heritage of India and the environment and all those, everything was bundled together. And it was so difficult for me to convince the honorable judges. They said that you are wasting court's time. You want to close down the Mathura refinery, where India has spent about 1,000 crores, and you don't. So then I had to persuade time and again. I said, you please, and the last thing which I said at that time, the judges, I convinced them, and they took once, they put the files down, and the second time the files came to them, and the third time they said, we don't have time. You know that what are you doing? I said, yes, I'm just arguing this matter. You please give me the time. So then I told them that you please, I have one duty and whereas you have two duties. And really, the honorable judge is one of them. He just shouted at me, you know that you are making contempt of court. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I am a lawyer and I have deep respect for this honorable court, but kindly give me the time. And he said, what are those duties? So I said, I'm only reminding you, your lordship, for you. I'm not saying anything more. He said, okay, tell us then. So I said, there are two duties. The one is, as a citizen of India, I have come and I have a duty to protect environment, rivers, lakes, and have compassion for animal life. That is my first duty, and that is the fundamental duty. So, as a citizen, I have come here before the court, and your lordships are first citizens of this country, and then you are the judge, and you are not delivering justice to me. I said, that is what you are failing in both the duties. When I said it was a commotion, but the judge said, okay, what do you want? So I convinced them about after 35 minutes, they said, yes, we issue notice. So this is how my case started at that time, and that case has become a very monumental case. It is still going on, its monitoring is going on, and after that there was a Ganga case. The Ganga caught fire, and again about a 1 kilometer stretch in Haridwar, it caught fire. It was about 15 to 20 feet high flame, could not be extinguished for 30 hours. So I went over there and saw what is happening over there. So then again, so in that case, the same situation, the same big mafia was working, and the big companies were there. They were floating all laws, whatever laws were there, they were floating, and they never cared for the health and the health of the river and health of the people. So this is how this my was possible by the court, and the it is the honorable Supreme Court took a lot of pain. Every Friday the case was being fought. Every Friday, it was continuously for 5-7 years. Still, the monitoring in that case is going on, and so how I'm just giving you the instances that where you face the difficulties. Because in Calcutta at that time, I remember, the big industries, their industries were closed down, the distilleries were closed down, about 32 multinational and other companies, distilleries were closed down. It's very difficult at that time, the pressures, the people, and many times, you face not debts, but you face debts to your family members, to everyone. And as I was reading today, that this is land grabbing mafia, they are going over here also. So this is the situation. So my friends, but one thing more which I am going to emphasize is that you are not an ordinary citizen. A lawyer is not an ordinary citizen. He is a trained person for in law, and for that reason he has he is more responsible in seeing the justice done. The justice, because the lawyer, he should be sensitive. I know that in India also, when all the lawyers, eminent lawyers who in India, they appear in these cases in opposite, against me. But that is not the point. The point is that, oh yes, I always tell them that you please appear against me, I am so happy, but you be truthful to your client. And if the client, don't tell him that you just, avoid time, you take time from the court from time to time, 2 months, 6 months adjournments and all that. Why that takes place? Because the reason is that they want to save money. The polluters, they want to save money. So that is how it happened. And here too, I don't know that here may be coming again and time and again. So this is the only reason. But if the lawyer says that no, you tell me first, that have you complied the law or no? And if the law is complied by that industry, then whether you are a public interest attorney or not, you stand again by them. But if there is any harassment from the ministry or from any source, but if that is not so, then for that, we should not kill our conscience, for a few hundreds, thousands of money, I know that the fee is so heavy that nowadays it has gone too heavy. But earlier it was that they wanted to save the money of the industry rather than saving the conscience and then the public resources. The second point I am going to say that, my friends, that as I say, that air, water, soil. Now what is the situation of air, water, soil? Air is polluted. Vehicular pollution case I took in 1985, and now all over the country the CNG, the cleaner fuels have been introduced. The cleaner standards, the technologies have come in India, and so many things have happened. But that has happened only because of the Supreme Court of India's intervention. not by the industry, not by the government, and if this would have been, Delhi was joking at one time, every fourth child was moving, was going, wearing a mask over his mouth. So that is the situation. So the people are, whether in Dhaka also, when I came at that time, there was this standees, I saw that here the river at that time. I went and we shared some of the information. It was very bad, very bad. And so many other things which I could see. I can, we can't, we should not become a nation of, that you throw everything in the backyard and just you show, everything, right, in front of your gate. This is wrong. And in our country, in India, that happens. Many things, they are just put behind it. When I say that if you can't protect the Taj Mahal, which is one of the wonders of the world, what can India do, frankly? If India cannot clean one river, that is the Ganga, what can India do? It is not, it is wrong. It is wrong. One should not say that I am mighty, but you display, you show your honesty. And that is what now in the Ganga is $1 billion, about 5,000 crores of money has come. But where is that money? That will be siphoned off. So long as the Supreme Court monitors, is after them, things start moving. But once the Supreme Court can't do every time, every week monitoring. So there should be a mechanism, and that mechanism, in some of the cases, the Supreme Court has evolved that, and it is functioning. Now there is a National Green Tribunals have been set up with great resistance. Though the Supreme Court, in one of my cases, said that environment courts should be set up in 1986. Justice P.N. Bhagwati, at that time, the court faced a lot of difficulties. One committee, the other committee, all those 4 committees were set up. And then the court said that there should be environment courts in the country, and immediately they should decide the cases within 3 months, because environment pollution does not wait. If you are drinking polluted water today, what are you going to do? How many people are going to drink the bottled water? How many people can afford? And that is the reason, that this is going on. So, as far as the other things are concerned, the air, water, soil, that is all contaminated. Almost, there are 800 groundwater. In India, around 1,000 blocks have become the dark spots. And dark spots means they are polluted. So, outside, you can show many things. But inside, when I see the situation is not good. And we should be concerned. When it is question of the Ganga comes over here. And then it joins. So we have to see that we don't have if it comes, we have to protect. It should not be that only at the time of when there is excess water in the Ganga, it should flood over here. It should not happen. It should be all the time. We should look into these aspects. Just I will finish in 2 minutes. Climate change. My friends, that is glaring at us. And my submission is that when the climate change is going to happen, and it is happening, in India, the weather is changing. There is a sudden rain, there is a sudden cloud burst, and in the Himalayas, what the catastrophe has taken place, in a few months back. It happened last year, and where India lost hundreds of crores worth, the properties. And then the people, they have been displaced. Even up to this time, they have not been rehabilitated. In Sundarbans, you know that a few years back, because of the climate change, the whole this island has disappeared over there. And have we seen what is the fate of those people? What happened to them? Where are they? Are they living? Are they having rehabilitated? Or what is the situation? So climate change refugees their strength will increase. It will be the population. It is like a growing population on climate change aspects. We are suffering very seriously as far as we are going to suffer as far as the climate change is concerned. So please see that we have to put pressures, and as far as the cars and the air conditioning and all those things are happening, they are responsible. So we have to again meet and agree. The problem here is that we want that everything, whatever the America and the Western, the European countries are doing, we should do all those things. But that model is not has not suited them, and it is not going to suit us also. So the minimum we should do that, we should develop, but not at the cost of our health. The cancer, I would say, every year the official data that 1 million cancer the patients they grow every year. So what will it go? And it is not 1 year. According to me, maybe 5 to 10 million people they are increasing every day. Because when I visit all over the states, the cancer, and this is happening because of the insecticides, pesticides, the water, which is unfit, we are drinking water. So this is going to, these are the major problems which the politicians of this country, the politicians in India and the politicians across the world, they should come forward, and then apart from the judiciary, whatever the judiciary has done, we should be grateful. But more and more has to be done so that the people's life and health is protected. Thank you very much.
And also the learned advocate of the Supreme Court, Mr. Manzil Murshid, Honorable guest speaker, leading lawyer and pioneer of PIL on environment in the region, Mr. Mahesh Chandra Mehta, Honorable Mr. Justice Shamsuddin Chaudhry, Honorable Judge of the Appellate Division of the Supreme Court, Mr. Basit Mojumdar, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, Professor Mesbah Kamal, Mr. Dr. Abu Nasir Khan, Honorable members of Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, Honorable Additional Attorney General, media representatives, learned advocates of the Supreme Court, and friends, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and immense pleasure for me to be present here this morning, joining this seminar on the role and importance of public interest litigation to ensure rights of the citizen, organized by the Human Rights and Peace for Bangladesh. I would like to thank Advocate Manzil Murshid, President of HRPB, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to be here this morning. I must say that being present in the Supreme Court auditorium brings back very fond memories for me, as I have been involved in the Supreme Court and practiced as a lawyer for 15 long years before I took up the position in the government. So it is always a pleasure to come back to the Supreme Court premises and also to the auditorium, which is almost like home to me. I would also like to thank the Human Rights Peace for Bangladesh, the organization and its members, for their role in promoting the cause of public interest and human rights and their dynamic contribution in this field. It is indeed a very special pleasure to welcome the renowned jurist, Mr. M.C. Mehta from India, a leading lawyer, having received international recognition for his role in making public interest litigation instrumental in vindicating the right to environment. I would like to specially congratulate Mr. Mehta for his significant contribution in building jurisprudence in environmental sector through public interest litigation. As we pay tribute to Justice Krishna Iyer, Justice Bhagwati, Upendra Bakshi, and many more for their role to pave the way for public interest litigation, it is also very interesting, and I am confident that Mr. Mehta's visit to Bangladesh will bear immense significance for him, as he will also take back very enriching experience of how public interest litigation jurisprudence has grown and flourished in Bangladesh with its own distinctive features. And as we remember the judges of the Indian jurisdiction Supreme Court, Krishna Iyer, Bhagpati, as I mentioned, Mr. Mehta can compare how the honorable judges of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh have made bold pronouncements to uphold fundamental rights and the Constitution. Bangladesh manifests vibrant judicial activism, and thrust of it is to protect the people and their rights. And we are proud of the jurisprudence that Bangladesh has built in this arena. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with our own Constitution. Constitution of 1972. Fundamental rights are enshrined in Part 3 of our Constitutional. Judicial review is Article 102. While Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic and the land, all power of the Republic belong to the people, and that is Article 7, which is the pole star of our Constitution. One of the main distinguishing features of the Constitution of Bangladesh, which is one of the best constitutions in the world, is, as has been laid down in the judgment of Dr. Mohiuddin Farooq versus Bangladesh, 49 DLR Appellate Division 1, Para 41, I quote, "The Constitution of Bangladesh is not the outcome of a negotiated settlement with a former colonial power, nor drawn up with the concurrence or approval of any external sovereign power. It is the fruit of a historic war of independence, which is the distinctive feature of our Constitution. And therefore, the Constitution must be seen in a context of our 24 years long struggle from 1948 to 1971. And it must be seen, read, interpreted, and understood in the context of the clarion call made by our father of the nation on 7th March 1971, and also in the context of the pronouncement and the statement of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, on the early hours of 26 March 1971, where he said, quote, "This may be my last message. From today, Bangladesh is independent," unquote. And it is in this context that we liberated our country. We have an independent Bangladesh, a sovereign country in the world, and we have our Constitution of 1972. And in this Constitution, within the framework of this Constitution, the public interest litigation has slowly developed and grown within our own jurisprudence. One of the basic rationales of public interest litigation and of judicial review should be understood that it is exercised with insight into social values to supplement the changing social needs, to remove the existing social inequalities or imbalances that exist, and to readjust the social order through the rule of law. And this was stated in a judgment in AIR 1993 Supreme Court. One of the major debates and one of the major controversies at the initial stage was with relation to locus standi, who can file a public interest litigation. And it has been held that no rigid rule of locus standi can be applied to public interest litigation. Any person acting bona fide and having sufficient interest in maintaining an action for judicial redress for public injury to put the judicial machinery in motion can come forward and file a public interest litigation. It is now also established that the writ petition may be moved not only by an aggrieved individual, but by a public-spirited citizen or a social action group for enforcement of fundamental right of some other person, provided that such other person is unable to approach the court for redress owing to some particular reason of poverty or disadvantage. Such persons belong to a class or a group of persons who are in disadvantaged position on account of poverty, disability, and other social or economical impediment and are unable to enforce their rights. সংবিধানে যে মৌলিক অধিকারগুলো সন্নিবেশিত আছে সেগুলোর বাস্তবায়ন ঘটানোর ক্ষেত্রে সমাজের পিছিয়ে পড়া যে জনগোষ্ঠী তাদের স্বার্থ যখন বিঘ্নিত হয় বা তাদের মৌলিক অধিকার যদি কোনো কারণে ক্ষুণ্ণ হয় তাহলে সেক্ষেত্রে তার প্রতিকার পাওয়ার যে অধিকার সে বিষয়টি নিয়ে যে কোনো সচেতন ব্যক্তি বোনাফিডি ইন্টারেস্ট নিয়ে জনস্বার্থে রিট মামলা দায়ের করতে পারে। এটাই হচ্ছে পাবলিক ইন্টারেস্ট লিটিগেশনের মূল জায়গা। অর্থাৎ সমাজের পিছিয়ে পড়া যারা শোষিত, বঞ্চিত এবং নানা ধরনের বৈষম্যের শিকার তারা যখন অধিকার বঞ্চিত হয় সেই অধিকার প্রতিষ্ঠার ক্ষেত্রে পাবলিক ইন্টারেস্ট লিটিগেশন একটা প্রেরণক হিসেবে অত্যন্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ভূমিকা পালন করতে পারে এবং সেই পালন করেই এই জুরিসপ্রুডেন্স তৈরি হয়েছে। It is when courts are apprised of gross violation of fundamental rights of a group or when basic human rights are invaded or when there are complaints of such acts as shock the judicial conscience that Supreme Court leaves aside the procedural shackles and hears such petition for remedying the hardships and miseries of the needy and the underdog and the neglected. তো সেই কারণে সবচেয়ে যে গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় যে সেই কারণে এই লোকাল স্ট্যান্ডার্ড has been extended and it allows any conscious citizen to come and uphold the rights. But there was a decision in Bangladesh Sangbadpatra Porishad case where it was emphasized that it has to be an aggrieved person within the meaning of Article 102. But subsequently, in Dr. Mohiuddin Farooq versus Bangladesh case, this Sangbadpatra case was distinguished as a separate case because of its own facts, and the scope for filing public interest litigation and local standard was opened up and extended further. And it was said in Mohiuddin Farooq's case that when a public injury or public wrong or infraction of a fundamental right affecting an indeterminate number of people is involved, it is not necessary in the scheme of our constitution that multitude of individuals have to file writ. Article 102, but as it concerns public wrong or injury, any number of people or any member of public being a citizen suffering the common injury, espousing the particular cause, is a person aggrieved and has the right to invoke the jurisdiction under Article 102. এবং aggrieved person এর definition এর ভিতরে any person having sufficient interest was included and it was expanded, and this is how the public interest litigation paved its way forward. In Bangladesh, the judiciary has made enforced fundamental rights through a number of public interest litigation and has made remarkable strides in ensuring the rights of the people. The aim being to ensure social justice and redress the grievances of deprived and downtrodden and protecting the rights of the people, like the slum dwellers. যে বস্তি উচ্ছেদের মামলাতেও পাবলিক ইন্টারেস্ট লিটিগেশনের মাধ্যমে তাদেরকে প্রোটেকশন দেওয়ার নজির রয়েছে। Public interest litigation has also been instrumental in protecting environment, like in cases of industrial pollution, river pollution, payment of compensation in development projects, unlawful filing of floodplain zones, etc. But I want to make one point, that environmental protection and for ensuring environmental protection, public interest litigation has been very instrumental and very effective, and it has been able to brought about the desired results of ensuring that protection in Bangladesh and in India. And as we see that Mr. Mehta has himself administered many landmark cases like the Taj Mahal, the Ganga, and many more, child labor issues and many more. But I would like to emphasize that while the public interest litigation has rooted and has grown as an instrument to protect environment, we should not only confine it for environmental protection, but this can be used to vindicate the right of the disadvantaged wherever they are affected. It may be for food adulteration, it may be for ensuring safe drinking water. It may be for ensuring proper services in the health sector to the people which violate their fundamental rights. So public interest litigation has a much broader spectrum within which environment is of course an important component. Now it is important for us to, as we stand here today, we are familiar with this concept of public interest litigation, and also the difficulties and challenges were there when it was first started. But now we have overcome that. So now, having achieved so much, where do we go from here? Public interest litigation must not open floodgates and allow the jurisprudence built around it get diluted. So that is something of concern which we must bear in mind. But I strongly feel that it is the pledge of our Constitution that realization through a democratic process of a socialist society free from exploitation, a society in which rule of law, fundamental human rights and freedom, equality and justice, economic, social, political, would be ensured for all. This is a pledge of our Constitution, and public interest litigation should continue to be instrumental in vindicating the rights of the individuals to attain this goal which is in our Constitution. Judiciary has a major role to play and must continue its efforts in taking rights seriously and bringing about the desired and pledged social change. Public interest, let us see public interest litigation as a commitment. Let us see it as for a noble cause and also for ensuring social justice. And one other point I would just like to flag before I conclude. Globalization may pose new challenges. While we have been able to establish PIL for vindicating our rights, for social justice, for environment and for other public interest causes, there may be new emerging areas where we may need to invoke public interest litigation. For example, in the energy sector, or many more, which will come up in the future. The judiciary and the lawyers and human rights activists will have to be conscious about this fact. So let us all come together and ensure the social justice and the pledge of our Constitution, make it a reality, the fundamental rights for the people and for all on equal terms. I will conclude with the words of a renowned scholar and jurist. It is justice, not charity, that is wanting in the world. Thank you all. May Bangladesh live forever.